2021, what a year. So 2021 was a year of self-discovery for me. It was a year where I tested new things, seeing what I was capable of, seeing what I wasn't, seeing my strengths and my weaknesses. But it was also a year of trying new things but not being consistent. And that's what made me start my new YouTube channel. And obviously, as you can see from my timeline, I just haven't been consistent at all. And obviously I haven't really made any progress since I started. So last year I wasn't really able to focus on anything. I was constantly getting distracted as soon as I was trying to find some work that can build some momentum. And obviously, me being me, I couldn't resist the temptation of going on my phone, going on Xbox, going on Netflix and binge watching It's Only Sunny in Philadelphia. Hence why I couldn't stay focused on YouTube and I generally just couldn't get in the flow. And eventually, because of the lack of process, I slowly started to seep in this little hole of depression. I feel like I truly lived by this quote: a man who lacks purpose distracts himself with pleasure. I found myself constantly trying to search for that thing that will give me that kick up the arse and that jolt of motivation, but I just couldn't find it at that point in my life, until now. Jesus. The skill I developed in 2022 is deep work. Now, I feel like this is not only the most important skill you can develop this year, but I think it's the most important skill you can develop for the rest of your life. So Deep Work was written by Newport. He's a professor of computer science at Georgetown University. He's a New York Times best-selling author at the age of 39. This guy is an official bad man. So the definition of deep work exactly is professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limits. These effects create new value, improve your skill, and are hard to replicate. Now, the problem I was having was doing too much shallow work. Now, shallow work is something that doesn't have a lot of meaning to it. It's kind of like a monotonous task. It doesn't require much focus or energy. And obviously, hence being shallow work, it doesn't have a lot of meaning behind it. Hence, there was a reason why I was getting bored and distracted a lot of the time. And I feel like I wasn't mentally stimulated enough. I mean, that's my fault because I was doing YouTube videos more of the sit down, give value, instead of the storytelling that I want to get into and I have a passion for as well. When I was younger, I've always had the interest of capturing moments and putting them into a well-presented video that can bring up so many emotions. So I want to tell you why deep work is so valuable. So as you can see right now, technology is having a massive impact on the economy. And the last 2 to 3 years of COVID have obviously accelerated it even more with the rise of platforms like Zoom and Microsoft Teams. But there is also a huge impact happening in the physical world. Factories, warehouses and supermarkets, just to name a few, are the place where companies are rolling out the deployment of new technologies. And since the pandemic, their aim is to minimize costs, improve productivity and reduce the dependency on people. Now this one's actually crazy. So the World Economic Forum estimates that the increased use of technology and automation is expected to displace 85 million jobs by 2025. Technology is currently 30% of the overall tasks, while humans are doing the remaining 70%, a ratio that is expected to shift to 50-50 in the next few years. So obviously humans are being replaced by technology, like there's no doubt about that. Like it's just happening, it's just the world we live in. So an example of huge innovation is the way Amazon do their stores. Now if you look at it, everything is done by video and AI. You know, as soon as you pick up an item, it's automatically scanned and it's distributed to your Amazon basket. And obviously, as soon as you walk out with that item, it is paid automatically. And I feel like this is mad because I know for a fact other businesses like the big supermarket chains, Sainsbury's, Tesco, Asda, will start to implement this as well. Obviously, leading to the decrease of the dependency on people. I think that's just the way the world is going to go. And like I said, you can't really stop that. This could be seen as very, very scary, but this is why deep work is so important. So Cal said there are 3 people that will prosper and accelerate in this new economy. So people that can build and control advanced technology, people that hold all the capital, and people that are generally the best at what they do. So these are the people that will thrive in the new economy. And this is why deep work is so important. It allows us to get into these groups. It allows us to really prosper and push for our potential to hopefully get inside these groups so we can accelerate with the economy. The ability to master hard things and the ability to produce at an elite level therefore speed and quality wise is going to be paramount to success, and this is why it's your obligation to really focus on your work and do deep work. The world is constantly changing and you need the ability to learn hard things very quickly. If you don't know how to learn, how can you expect to thrive effectively? Because obviously it's easy saying one thing but doing it is the other. So what are the complications and the roadblocks to deep work? With the constant evolution of social media, instant messaging and AR getting more exposure, the ability to sit down and have deep, meaningful work is harder than ever. These social media platforms have algorithms that are created specifically to keep you on the app for as long as possible, marketing and software geniuses that have studied human cognitive behavior for all of their lives, that can manipulate your brain into turning social media into an addiction. The new arrival of shorter videos decreases our attention spans for no longer than 3 seconds, the constant accessibility from all devices. Smartwatches are now basically phones. Having the ability to make a call on your wrist is just absolutely insane. Hello?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Is it, I'm ringing on my watch. Is it as clear as my phone?
You sound louder.
Louder? Constant vibrations and buzzers that send electrical impulses to your brain to remind you somebody needs you now and at this moment, when they really don't. Emails, pings, messages, notifications, lights, calls, they're all waiting to be answered. Distraction is everywhere. Having the ability to silence this is absolutely essential. This is why deep work is so rare, but now how do we do it? So I'm not going to splat off how to do deep work in the nitty gritty. I'm just going to show the basics with you and how I do it. So basically how I do it is I do an hour and a half of deep work, continuous work. I don't stop until my hour and a half is done. I put do not disturb mode on my phone. I have my little lamp on. I put my headphones on and I put jazz music on and I just vibe. And I sit down and I work for that time. Like I said, no stopping, an hour and a half straight into it, and then after that you have an hour and a half rest, and you do this up to 2 to 3 times a day because the brain can only have roughly 4 hours of concentrated work until you're just done. You're flat out, you're finished, mate. Just leave it. So having work that is simple to define and difficult to execute is the essence of meaningful work. I feel like this is what I need more of, you know, purpose, meaning whilst I'm doing my work. And doing that is by creating stories on video around self-improvement and my business journey. All I can say now, I've 100% got my passion back from making YouTube videos. So I'll definitely suggest find something you're definitely passionate at. You know, as you start to do more, you get better at doing things, and then the more you will enjoy it. And that's generally what creates happiness and a fulfilling life. Obviously, as you can see from the horrible stats of people losing their jobs, COVID breaking out, you know, life is just becoming harder and harder. You need to be able to find meaning and purposeful work. So this is the reason why deep work could be not only the most important skill for this year but for the rest of your life. So if you're struggling with consistency of reading books, I've made a video on how to read books consistently forever. You will not miss a day of reading if you apply the tips and strategies from that video. So go ahead and click that video. I'll put a link here, there, wherever, and hopefully you will enjoy that one, and hopefully you've enjoyed this. So make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.